Ways.
Good morning. My name is Rob Coyle. I'm from PCX Corporation. We are a modular infrastructure company. We have been for 25 years. I'm a director there overseeing our sales and marketing. Roberto, Söderhäll, I'll let you do your...
Yeah, I'm from Swedish Modules, and we are also manufacturing modular data centers for just about the same time as you at PCX. So located in the middle of Sweden, doing steel constructed modules, heavy duty design for the global market of data centers. Yeah.
I think I'll let you do the background.
Yeah, we started this subgroup. I think I interact with Rob 2 years ago, something like that, on a Skype call, and say I have an idea to put a project in the Open Innovation Data Center Facility Group. Would like to design a modular data center optimized for OCP gear, and said that's a good idea. Outline a charter, and we'll see if it fits the purposes for OCP. And aligned with the tenants and so on. So we started the project, and therefore we started the subgroup, or we call it Modular Data Center, and we turn out to be a number of people meeting every second week during the project. Now we have monthly calls. So it's one of the projects within the Data Center Facility Group created this Modular Data Center team, you can say. So we still have meetings every month, monthly meetings, monthly calls, same time, same day. So we here invite you to participate in those meetings. We need more people. We come back to that later from the industry and also from the other stakeholders to participate to, increase the dynamics of the innovation work we are doing.
So really the concept behind modular and what it aims to solve is really market appropriate and timely. I'm very fortunate that I've joined a modular company at the time that I did. There's a lot of market forces that are steering us to modular as a solution, not only for all construction, but especially for the data center. We're seeing record-breaking times of demand. It is pushing out lead times on equipment. It is challenging every minute of schedule that you can find to get these systems online. And we're facing, increasing controls on budgets and regulatory issues as well. And that brings us to technical challenges. We're seeing cabling requirements for multi-level data centers that have to deal with issues like heat rise on cabling and derating. We're seeing challenges and weather delays depending on where we're deploying these systems. And modular continues to speak towards advantages in these areas. And in the United States, and other parts of the globe have seen this before we have, but today we're facing one of the largest labor shortages that our country has ever seen. And so the resources you need to deploy these data centers are not necessarily available. So by taking these systems off-site to a labor pool that can be trained or backed up by systems allows us to deploy these systems. And time. Our clients are after more time. Some of our clients are the biggest companies in the world, and they are to an arms race or a real estate race, as we've seen in the news. And any way they can gain more time back brings an advantage to them. From our experience in the data center area specifically, we're seeing advantages of 30% time by taking advantage of parallel processes while the site is excavating for dirt or pouring concrete. We're integrating electrical systems and adding cooling systems that would be happening much later in the critical path. I mentioned the cabling issues. Not all laborers who have sets of skills can build to the standards that we require in the data center industry. Manufacturers like Swedish Modules, Schneider Electric, PCX have systems in place that control the quality of what's being deployed on site, and so that the infrastructure that lives behind the rack can support the requirements of an IT load. This is an example, and this is data from the US labor statistics. Most of our deployments, 95% plus deployments for PCX are in the United States. But just based on population growth, or lack thereof, there's not enough bodies to do the work. We hear a lot of stories of kids these days don't want to pick up a wrench, don't want to, pick up a hammer to do the work. And sure, maybe that's part of the culture, but that's not really the whole story. The real story is that there's literally not enough people. And you can see in our history in the US, we had shortage of labor during times of the World War, during times of the Great Depression. But here today, we will probably see the longest shortage of labor based on the cycles of birth rates. So we are just on the uphill of that curve, so it'll be around for a long time.
Yeah, it's my slide.
This is yours.
Okay. Well, I mean, modular could make the improvement that's really the center of what we are doing at the OCP community here. I mean, efficiency when it comes to production, reducing the cost, the impact on the environment, the time control, and everything starts with having control over the quality and the labor and the timeline for producing things. But also, of course, when we're talking efficiency, it's the use of energy and the use of electricity. It boils down to that at the end of the day, how much electricity can we save? And that's having the impact on the environmental in total. But also, how can we reduce the cost around the production? So we decrease the timeline from being 9 months to 3 months instead, and the impact of the environment will be extraordinary if we could optimize all those things. And this modular thinking opens up for being efficient in every state of the production. So, I mean, that's one thing. And the scalability, of course, is one of the tenets. It should scale according to, the mantra of IT. Everything should scale. It should be easy to scale up the white space, scaling up the power, scaling up the cooling, scaling up the security and everything. So that's what we are working within the group, to get the modular construction developed in every part of the facility, so it scales. You save money, you save time, but you also have a scalability that will give you an opportunity to go with the flow, grow with the customers, grow with the market. And of course, openness is the core. The more people that participate in taking part of what we are doing, the better the product, the more efficient, the more scalable. The openness is the core that we are working around. And of course, I heard some stories about OCP. And they say the stupid community, now they're developing 48 DC plus. Why don't they use DC minus? Yeah, that's because you are not there contributing with your knowledge. That's why. So, all knowledge, competence, it's heartily welcome in this community and will make the difference. Yeah, and the impact, of course, we are challenging status quo here.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, that's the main mission we have. Disruptive work, challenging status quo, like Stein lifted up. Why are we continuing building cars with 6 wheels just to be able to drive 200 kilometers an hour with a flat tire? That's what we are doing with the data centers. So that's one of our missions to challenge. So these are the tenets. This is the improvements area. And the more you are participating, the better we're going to succeed with this.
Absolutely. Well, this is the early part after the discussions earlier Roberto had with Robert and the rest of the community to get started and create the MDC subgroup, was to start actually contributing and show something for our work. And it started with the MDC spec. You can find it here. Follow my arrows if you can to get to it. Google is a big help here, and it'll drive you to the specifications, both the 90 kW and the 300 kW specifications that Schneider Electric and Swedish Modules did with input from the community. So those are open, available to you. We would say they're version 1.
Yeah.
One of the challenges with modular construction, and we've said for a long time, is that there's not enough of us. So we operate in a world of traditional construction where we don't know what each other is doing, and we're working independently in these silos to develop modular solutions, and we really need the collective input from the industry, equipment manufacturers, and other modular builders to advance this as quickly as needed. So this is a great starting point. It was the foundation for now developing products, and so now you have the 90 kW and 300 kW submissions coming. It would not have occurred without this specification and the months of work that the entire community put into it.
One question, does everybody know how OCP works with regards to, there's a specification and then there's also product submissions? Does anybody not kind of understand the process there? Okay, so,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fast process, but we need to do it step by step. So the design files are the beginning, I will say, and then we get the approval of that, and then we have the framework to work within. And then we start to doing now a more product design and giving in for product recognition. So you can buy the products. We make it easy for the market to purchase and start using it. That's I mean, the common goal for everything we are doing. And also, I mean, the development also depending on your input. What are your plans? What are your rollout plans? What are you aiming to do in your company, in your organization? That's extremely important for us in the group to have the input from you that's going to use this. What about the user? That's the most important in data we can get. So we can do almost anything modular.
Yeah.
Just ask us, but we need to know that we create value for you. The value you can see in this need to be communicated to us. So I think we have an interesting, great future together, working with sustainability and recycling most of those parts to extend the lifetime, like we hear from IT Review, when it comes to racks and servers and switches and so on, but also when using modules, refurbish and out on the market again, or just move them around or recycle them. This is something we are extremely keen on developing here. Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to pass you on to the next is kind of on that as we talk about other contributors in the OCP environment. Where could we find, what we want to learn now is we have a specification. We're starting to step into productizing the modular data center. What can we do with racks and cooling and power in the other areas of OCP that create a significant advantage for modular deployments? Can we work with smaller footprints? Can we work with more more efficiency in those components so we can reduce UPS sizes or UPS entirely, or backup generator, or the total IT load, and still get the same performance? So we're looking to the community. This summit has, I think, inspired both Robert and I to reach out more as we kind of get our feet underneath us in our own subgroup to reach out to the other areas and see how we can collaborate to advance both of our areas.
I can tell you one example. For instance, we have a white paper from Schneider Electric with a reference design for how to build the infrastructure, external infrastructure for a data center. And it's tell you that you can save at least 45% of the cost by designing the infrastructure from the substations into the low voltage, into the data center for OCP use. That's a lot of money to save. And you will save your money, and you will save the environment to build more simple infrastructures with just one feeder, maybe one substation, instead of a lot of those investments. So take a look at the white paper for OCP infrastructure power systems.
Yeah, it was the electrical analysis.
The electrical analysis of that. I mean, you can find it on Schneider's webpage and download it, I think, there. Yeah, of course. Google it. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the interaction we need, and also I think when it comes to create values here in the modular construction group, a modular data center group, we need new people in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the easy way to join in is either get to the Wikipedia page, listen to our previous calls. It was very much unknown when I joined just about a year ago, but you know, I got bit by the bug. There's a lot to be gained here in the OCP, and as they said yesterday, you get what you put into it. I would say you get a lot more out of it than what you put into it. I mean, it's really flipped. I've been very fortunate to gain a lot for myself in experience in a very short time, and for our company, and be able to produce better solutions for our clients. So it's been very much worthwhile, the investment of time, and a great community.
Yeah, and we'll also have very international participation there. If you like to meet the data center weirdos, that's the place to do it, because we have new people coming in all the time, creating new business connections. So it's a marketplace for your knowledge and your business, but also participate and contribute is the way of growing your own value and of course the community's value increases the more the people come in and contribute with the knowledge. We got so much knowledge and so less done. Yeah. That's the fact.
Yeah.
We have a lot of skills, a lot of competence, and a lot of knowledge, but we didn't share. This is a sharing community. So the monthly calls for the data center facility group and the monthly call for the modular data center group, it's wide open for you. So if you like to have an invite by an email or sign up for it, talk with us. We help you with that.
Yeah, you don't have to be an OCP member to join the call. If you have a colleague that is uncertain, or other people on your team who want to know what it's about, just have them, invite them to the call. We won't call you out and make you tell us all about you. You can just listen in if you want to participate or ask questions. It's welcome. This is kind of our example from our experience. Contribute, but just by participating in the calls. That's first and probably the easiest. We learned to become a contributor. These are the steps you take to do so. So we sign the respective license agreement for our contribution, be it design files, be it white papers, present the proposal to the project group. That's where you get feedback from the community. We've done so already with our product submissions. And then we wrote the specification in conjunction with other companies, other member companies, and the entire community outside of our world to help steer us in that direction. And then we used the contribution portal, presented the submission to the IC community, the incubation committee, and once we got their approval, then we can use the OCP accepted or OCP inspired product or OCP ready facility in the marketplace. So that's the next evolution. We're somewhere in the middle there right now.
Yeah.
So that's today. This is the future. So we talked about components within a modular data center, but as we move past submitting these, for lack of a better term, all-in-one data centers, what can we do to modularize the entire facility? And in power or cooling or even white space, we've seen a lot of requests. I know you guys have developed products. Schneider has as well. Here's some examples. Robert, you might recognize these.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this was very early on, very pioneering times in Schneider in the modular space, is that these three containers were a cooling, power, and IT solution, and these were examples at one of their facilities on the future modularization of a data center. I think we're living in a time now where that was a very interesting concept, and a lot was done to develop it, but there's a lot of forces in play here today that almost require it.
Oh, yeah, and like we almost don't like, I mean, that wasn't too long ago, and they're already like old to show, right?
I think they're gone. I think they've been pulled out since.
Yeah, close.
But yeah, that's in a very short window. So kind of to recap, this is what we're trying to solve. I mean, and it's from feedback from the community, and that's where everything starts. That's where the product submission ideas come from, is input from stakeholders in the community of what problems do you need us to solve. As Roberto said, we can almost build anything we want, and that's kind of the problem.
Yeah, it is.
We now know with the community we can get some direction on what to build.
I mean, if you are in a discussion with your customer that's asking questions about OCP data center, take them with you to the call.
Yeah.
And let them pop their questions in the community, in data center facility or modular data center call. That would be a great thing. Just invite them, bring them to the call. And I promise you, you have a lot of people in the call that could answer the questions or just pick them up and then process them in the community to come back later and say, hey, we have a great idea of how to solve your needs and your problems with your data center establishment here. So I mean, more people from outside should be participating and answer questions in the call. I think so. We already have a number of people from Asia, from Europe and US, of course. So I mean, for the Americans, it's an early morning meeting. For the Swedes, it's afternoon tea, and for the Chinese, I mean, in the middle of the night maybe. I don't know, but they're there. So they're keen to be participating in the meetings. Yeah, are we closing up?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was going to open it to the floor. This is how to join us. As I said, Google is your friend to find it. The Wikipedia for the Data Center Facilities Group. We have monthly calls. Roberto or anybody else from the Modular Data Center Group, I'm certain would be happy to help guide you in a way to participate or just learn more about us. And with that, I was going to open it to the floor. Any questions about modular data centers or the group in general? I know we're standing in front of lunch.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I have. Do you have anything else?
Yeah, okay.
Thank you very much.
Good enough, yeah. Thank you for listening. Yeah.
Thank you guys
Thank
for
you.
stepping up and leading the group. It's a
Thanks.
big deal.
So, thank you.
Thank you.